Buzova is one of the most influential celebrities in modern Russia, a pop star, reality star, actress, and social media powerhouse with millions of loyal followers. But her cultural impact goes far beyond entertainment. In a nation where loudly supporting LGBTQ+ people can destroy a career overnight, Buzova chose openness instead of fear. She embraced her queer fans, defended them publicly, and used her enormous platform to give visibility to those who rarely receive it. Her glamorous persona, emotional vulnerability, and fierce loyalty turned her into a pop phenomenon, but her compassion turned her into something more: an ally with real influence. Olga Buzova stands as proof that love can be louder than hate, even in the hardest places. Alina Gorlova represents the young, rising wave of Russian actresses who refuse to hide anymore. Openly lesbian and proud of it, she speaks about her sexuality not as a scandal, but as a simple part of who she is, something natural, something human. In a culture where queer women are often silenced or forced underground, Gorlova's presence is groundbreaking. For many young lesbians across Russia, she is the face of possibility, someone who lives honestly, works openly, and refuses to shrink in the face of judgment. Her courage is quiet, steady, and real. Alina Gorlova proves that visibility doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it comes from a woman simply refusing to pretend. Tatiana Lazareva is one of the most beloved TV hosts and comedians in Russia, a warm, funny, deeply human figure who has been part of people's lives for decades. But her greatest legacy may be her evolution into one of the most outspoken LGBTQ+ allies in the country. What changed her? Seeing injustice with her own eyes, witnessing cruelty that she could no longer ignore. Since then, Lazareva has spoken loudly for equality, using her recognizable voice to defend queer Russians who have none. Her support doesn't feel performative, it feels maternal, protective, and fiercely sincere. Tatiana Lazareva is proof that allies can come from anywhere, and that sometimes the most powerful ally is someone who simply refuses to let hatred go unchallenged. Maria Alyokina is rebellion personified. As a core member of Pussy Riot, she is openly queer, openly feminist, and openly defiant, a woman who has never bowed to power, no matter how brutal the consequences. Her activism has taken her from protests to prison cells, from Russian courtrooms to international stages. Her voice is sharp, fearless, uncompromising, a voice that refuses to be silenced even under the weight of political repression. Alyokina fights not just for LGBTQ+ rights, but for the idea of freedom itself. Her life is a battle against authoritarianism, sexism, and censorship, and she wages that battle with creativity, courage, and astonishing resilience. Maria Alyokina is not just a symbol of queer resistance. She is a reminder that even a single voice, when raised without fear, can shake an empire. Anton Krasovsky did something that very few people in Russia had ever dared to do. He stepped into the spotlight and told the truth. Not in a private interview, not in an article, but live on national television. In a country where LGBTQ+ lives are erased, demonized, or forced into silence, Krasovsky looked directly into the camera and said the words that could end a career, and, in his case, did. "I am gay." The announcement traveled across Russia like a shockwave. It cost him everything: overnight his job, his platform, his influence, and even his personal security. Doors slammed shut, contracts disappeared, and his name was erased from mainstream media almost instantly. But something extraordinary happened in that loss. Krasovsky became more powerful than ever. He became a symbol, proof that visibility, even when punished, can be revolutionary. His coming out wasn't scripted or strategic. It was emotional. It was impulsive. It was raw humanity breaking through fear. And in that moment, he reminded millions of people watching that the simple act of speaking your truth can be the loudest form of resistance. Andrei Bartnev isn't just an artist, he is an event. A spectacle. A universe of color, fabric, metal, and imagination bursting out of a single person. Known for his futuristic bodysuits, towering headpieces, and cosmic performance art, Bartnev carved out a space in Russian culture that no one had dared to enter before. His work is a fusion of theater, sculpture, dance, and dream, a living kaleidoscope of creativity. Openly gay and unapologetically flamboyant, Bartnev has spent decades challenging the stale, gray aesthetics of a censor-heavy society. His creativity isn't just artistic expression, it's protest. It's a declaration that queerness is vibrant, limitless, and impossible to suppress. In a nation obsessed with conformity, Bartnev chose to become a walking piece of art. He shows the world that being yourself loudly, visually, and joyfully is one of the bravest acts a human being can commit. Vlad Topalov shot to fame as one half of the iconic pop duo Smash, capturing the hearts of teenagers across Russia and beyond. But what truly cemented his legacy isn't just the music, it's the compassion behind the man. In a country where public support for LGBTQ+ people can end a career, Topalov made the conscious choice to stand with queer fans rather than hide behind silence. He defended them openly. He pushed back against hateful rhetoric. He used his platform to protect people who rarely receive protection at all. In Russia, an ally isn't just supportive, an ally is brave. Because the risk is real. Topalov understood that. And he still chose empathy over self-preservation. He proved that allyship isn't about grand speeches or viral moments, it's about showing humanity when it matters most. His voice did more than perform. It stood up. Elena Kostyuchenko is the kind of journalist who doesn't just report stories, she walks into danger to uncover them. Openly lesbian and unshakably committed to justice, she spent years working for Novaya Gazeta, one of the last independent newspapers in Russia. Her investigations exposed corruption at the highest levels, documented war crimes with haunting precision, and shed light on the brutal persecution of LGBTQ+ people in Russia and Chechnya. Every article was a risk. Every assignment could have been her last. Many of her colleagues were assassinated, and still, Elena kept writing. Her courage isn't the cinematic kind with grand speeches and dramatic music. It's the quiet, steady, relentless kind, the courage to show up, day after day, knowing the truth might cost her life. Elena Kostyuchenko represents a rare form of heroism. The bravery to fight for others, even when no one is fighting for you. Yulia Tsvetkova is an artist whose work centers on something simple and beautiful, the female body in all its real forms. But in today's Russia, even simplicity can be dangerous. Her body-positive illustrations, meant to empower women and normalize natural anatomy, were deemed pornographic by authorities. She was arrested, interrogated, threatened, and dragged through years of legal battles. Her crime? Drawing women as they are? Celebrating queer identity. Daring to say that all bodies are worthy of love. Her case gained international attention, transforming her into a global symbol of artistic resistance. Yet through everything, she continued to create, continued to speak, continued to believe that art can shake the world. Yulia Tsvetkova paid a devastating price for her truth, but her courage lit a fire that cannot be extinguished. Sasha Skochelenko is one of the brightest, most courageous voices of Russia's new queer generation. Openly bisexual, she used art, music, and humor to challenge a system built on fear and silence. Her handmade posters, her joyful creativity, her gentle approach to activism, all of it defied the idea that resistance must always look angry. Skochelenko became widely known for her anti-war activism, replacing grocery store price tags with messages about the human cost of conflict. For that simple act of truth-telling, she was arrested, prosecuted, and targeted, but she never apologized for caring. In a country where queerness and dissent are punished, Sasha's bravery shines even brighter. She represents a generation that refuses to be erased, a reminder that hope itself can be a radical act. Her art may be small in size, but its impact echoes across the world.